Welcome to Recharge with Richardson, 5 minutes of hope and inspiration every Monday and Thursday. And now, here is today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Recharge with Richardson. So glad you're here today. Not sure how your day has started, but I'm really praying that after spending a few minutes in the Word and hearing what God has to tell you today, it will go a little bit better than it was before. I want to start with a quick prayer today. Precious God, thank you for this time, this moment, where even though we're busy, we're taking it to spend some time with you. I ask that you multiply this time. But not only that, but that you help whoever is watching this video be able to slow down a little bit today and put on the easy yoke that you've promised. Not that things are easy, but that it's easy because you're alongside us. In your name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. So today I want to talk a little bit about Jesus. Big surprise, right? I want to read a little bit of an excerpt from this book that if you know me, I've been talking about it way too much. It really impacted me this year because it's talking about how to live the Christian lifestyle in a way that eliminates hurry and intentionally tries to slow down our manic lifestyle of sprint, and our constant searching of how can I save time here, rather than just enjoying the moment. So the author, jumping in the middle of this story, is talking about Jesus and the yoke that he gives us. He says this: what made Jesus unique wasn't that he had a yoke. All rabbis had a yoke. It was that his was an easy yoke. And there's a lot to be pulled out from just that passage. And I think we talked about that in another Recharge with Richardson episode, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But what I want to do is continue talking about what Jesus did with that yoke. So when he was passing this yoke on to people, these were the people that he called his disciples. And the Hebrew word for this is taladim. And the reason I say the Hebrew word rather than just saying disciples is because it means a lot more than just disciple. It means apprentice. It means follower. It basically means your entire lifestyle changes to be like the rabbi, to be like the person whose yoke you have put on. So the author breaks this down into, trying to avoid my mic here, 3 steps. So the first step is pretty obvious for being a disciple of Jesus. It's to be with Jesus. So I say this is obvious, but it's often something that's easy to overlook. It's easy to say, okay, I just want the action. I just need this thing. I need to know what's happening in my life. I need to know whether or not I should accept this job. Those are important questions that we should bring to Jesus. But I think what's even more important is what happens before that question is answered, and that's simply being with Jesus. I actually want to dwell on this one just for a little bit more. I think of this verse in Mark chapter 3, verse 14. It's become one of my favorite verses, and it's so easy to overlook. Isn't that just like Jesus, to be in the details? Here's the verse. And he appointed 12, whom he also named apostles. Catch this. It's easy to miss. So that they might be with him, and he might send them out to preach and have authority to cast out demons. Okay, it's easy to be caught up in, wow, Jesus gave them the authority to cast out demons, but look at what happened before that. I want to focus in on that small part, so that they might be with him. He appointed 12 so that they might be with him. It's easy to focus on the flashy things, like casting out demons, like having authority to preach God and having the gospel and all these things. But what Jesus starts with is just being with him. It makes sense why Jesus so many times in his ministry would intentionally go out of his way to go to the mountains and spend some alone time with God in prayer. It's because Jesus knew if I don't do that, then I will fail everything else. So number 1, and in my opinion, the most important, be with Jesus. Be with Jesus. Second, become like Jesus. And I think that naturally happens whenever you spend time with anyone. I say this all the time, but your laugh actually morphs into the like a combination of the laughter that people you hang out with the most have. So you will notice if you change friend groups that your laugh will actually change. And it makes sense that our lifestyle and our yearnings and our love will grow the more we spend time with Jesus. And the third one is the practical step that I want to leave you with today. Do what he would do if he were you. And that sounds simple and perhaps oversimplified, but let's think about this. If you're a single mother with a child, obviously Jesus was a man. So you can't equally transfer what Jesus would do if he were you, but you can see how Jesus interacted with people. You can see how he loved those who were mean to him, how he stood up for God's name whenever he had to flip over the tables. So you can see how Jesus interacted and kind of associate that with your own life and how he would respond to, I'm just thinking of an example here, of a landlord who perhaps was rude to you. Then you would respond how Jesus would or how you think he would. And the only way you would be able to do that is if you spend time with him and if you know him and you're like, all right, if Jesus were here, I think he would do this. And the hard part, though, is actually following through and doing that thing that you're sure that Jesus would do. And if you're not sure what Jesus would do, I think the simple thing we can rely on is knowing that Jesus always, always, always loves first. So that's my challenge to you, especially in this election year of 2020. Love first. Thanks for watching, and I hope your day is blessed.
Thank you for joining us for Recharge with Richardson. Don't forget to join us for our next episode, and until then, may God fill you with joy and peace and hope.